Thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And there are many times when people get together to talk about business and corporate sustainability. And I just want everybody to really realize that many times if somebody gave you last year's agenda by accident, you might not even notice. And there's many instances of really the same people talking about the same things. And it's a little like that movie Groundhog Day. This is such a different event because this, the agenda really does give you a broad sense of where there's been progress and where there's new innovation around this area, and particularly, examples like the session on energy efficiency at the city level. This is an old problem with some new solutions, and so really looking forward to hearing about what's going on in Sacramento and Miami now. And then there's whole sections of the agenda that are really about the genuinely new, the convergence of smart technologies in buildings, vehicles, infrastructure, and energy. And so this really is an uncommon agenda. And one of the aspects of that progress that Kathy made reference to is the progress that companies really are making about how they are making decisions around these issues. And there was really a long era where the sole focus was on CEOs, and they either got a spear through the heart or they found Greenpeace either chained to their desk or worse, chained to their customer. And that was really the decision-making process, CEOs having sort of an epiphany and then making a leap of faith. And we're really moving out, we've moved solidly out of that era. That still can happen, but we're really in the era of integration where people are thinking about and acting on how do you really get this deep inside organizations, and things don't happen at that level just because the CEO says so. And the way they happen is because companies have good information that they are in fact getting business success, they have value at stake, and then are achieving business success based on what they're doing on sustainability. And the trends in that area really relate to how people are thinking about what issues are material to their business, what are their strategies for creating value, and then how do they, in the implementation of that, how do they really know when they are and aren't creating value? And so just take a couple moments to talk about each of those. So on materiality, this is what some people have, over time have called the business case. And what we're really seeing now is that companies are being more rigorous financially about how do they determine where they have value at stake, because they find that by getting properly focused on the right areas, and they can demonstrate it with financial value, that it has a whole transformative effect on the rest of the organization. The organization is built around creating value, and that if you can really demonstrate that you're doing that, you really get a different kind of organizational change than you say this is a good thing or the CEO said we should do it. So we have an example of a company in the upstream in the food supply chain where we did some work around where they have value at stake on these issues, and we weren't really sure that it was working until we got a whole lot of pushback from the leaders of the business units that we were doing the analysis on. And it wasn't really until we put hard numbers to it and were able to say, okay, here's where these risks are, here's how we see their management, here's their quantification. It really wasn't until we did that we got the heads of the business units really engaged. And so it was really almost measuring the success by how much pushback we encountered in that process. That's not ordinary consulting, but you usually don't want that kind of pushback. But it was clearly a measure of success. And then on strategy, we tend to talk about the 3 R's of sustainability strategy in terms of the results you're trying to achieve, and they're being revenue, reputation, and reducing costs. And on each of those, we're seeing kind of a bit of a transformation that's fueled by that analysis of the financial impact. So on reducing costs, which most people say, well, of course companies are all about reducing costs. They already do that. And yet we're finding when you have better information about how sustainability initiatives are actually performing on reducing costs, that you don't hit the wall. You don't hit the wall saying, well, we've achieved the 15% of energy efficiency improvements that we knew we could at the start. When you have good information, more real time about what that performance is, you start building a culture that is about proactively looking for all those opportunities, independent of initiatives from the corporate center, and you really push the power down to take those actions at the operating level where people are really seeing where those opportunities are. Then on the reputation, again, it's if you have information about how this affects brand value, sustainability affects brand value, you get a whole different response inside the marketing functions of the company, and you really get that a proactive point of view of saying, how can we design our products and businesses so that we are eliminating those future risks, or at least managing them in a way that over the long term, we make sustainability part of our authentic brand promise. And then on generating revenue through sustainability, this is, for many companies, this has kind of been semi-mythological. It's been something that they say, but they don't have a lot of proof of the concept. And again, we're really seeing really two things there. One, that folks are not just developing products with sustainability attributes kind of on the side, but they're saying, okay, how do customers make decisions about these attributes along with all the other things that they care about our products and offerings, and ways of sort of bringing that together so it's not like it was this is a green product, this is a not green product, but it's really understanding the attribute across whole portfolios of products and how it fits with all the other attributes that their customers are looking for. And then when people have products with those kinds of strong sustainability attributes, many companies are encountering the problem that the market has a hard time recognizing. The market's not used to recognizing them. And again, with having good data and good information and good financial analysis with that, companies are we're working with a coatings company that's very far upstream in the value chain, and the demand for the sustainability attributes of their products is several layers down in businesses that they don't really have relationships with. It's down really at the retail and consumer products level, and they're upstream in the B2B value chain. And really them being able to understand how to leapfrog over their existing customers, go down to where that attribute is recognized with good data about why this is important to about how the performance of their product really drives a whole transformative change. It really drives it back up the value chain, and that value chain action is really where a whole lot of the integration of sustainability is happening, and we're seeing real transformation there as well, where we're going from companies setting codes of conduct, saying, thou shalt do these things if you will be my supplier. That still exists and is an important element of what people are doing in the supply chain, but it's really only one of several ingredients. Added to that, folks are really saying, a code of conduct includes, you're going to be providing data about the origins and performance of your product and from whence it came, but increasingly, with more value information, folks are going into their supply chain and working with their suppliers saying, we want to give you incentives to perform. We understand how this, we understand from our own experience that this is about creating value, and that we're able to translate that into what that means for you as one of our suppliers. And so we're going to set some performance standards, we're going to help you improve, but we're going to give you preferential order flow. We're going to do things that make your business better if you reach those performance targets. And again, that's driving it into the business systems, not having it be outside looking in. So those are some of the ingredients we're seeing in the integration process. It's very much about ordinary business sort of things like understanding the financial analysis, having good data, having good systems for making decisions that really integrate that. And that's really how we see the change in value creation and the change in sustainability as it goes deeper and deeper into the organization. And it's not a handful of people, it's really the whole organization. So I would encourage you to look for those kinds of signs in the rest of the program. We know they're there because we know the people who've been who will be presenting, but really think about what the next stage of all this looks like. So I will turn it over to Andrew to talk more about the specifics of the day.